Alright, here we go. Okay, at the top right position as the red Protoss, we will have Dragon Pain, and at the bottom left as the brown Terran, we will have Koget.
Okay, so Jade. Sorry about that.
Nice.
Okay, so Jade is a very interesting map for me in PvT because the only thing that usually is a bit concerning when you're playing this kind of matchup is understanding like how many bases do you have, where do you want to put your contain, right? Like kind of strategical rather than fast play. But in this map, every single main has only 2 expansions, so it's relatively easy to just leave one vulture at 2 or maybe even 3, even patrolling 2 locations.
Yeah.
And make it a little bit harder for the pros to take another base. But at the same time, how as a Terran, how the hell, if you don't have a massive like army advantage, how do you take 4th?
Yeah.
Because wow, I mean, if you have a container, if you have a good position in the middle, if you have a good amount of armies, okay, then fine. Then you know, that's fine. You can just even take 2 bases at the same time. But if you have the same amount of units, or you're playing a little bit defensive, getting a 4th seems pretty much impossible of how far it is from everything else.
I think the PvT on this map for Terrans will sort of go like on Fighting Spirit, where, alright, I'm going to turtle up, take 3 bases, max out, and then do one big attack that pretty much determines who wins the game, right? The good old, 2-1 almost maxed out Terran timing there. Because, yeah, as you say, taking a 4th base is, I'd say, even slightly more difficult than on Fighting Spirit, where, players are already doing that. Having said that, the 3rd base is actually slightly more difficult to take as well, so you have to keep that in mind. So, like a strong 2-base attack that's similar to what Koget did last game could definitely be very strong as well.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, though, that one thing that surprised me about DragOn is that usually for players who are very, very good, and I certainly think that DragOn is that good, you'd usually see, if you see some kind of a strong push from the Terran, it's common to have 1, maybe even 2 shuttles with Zealot bombs to just not really win the engagement, but basically force very slow moves from the army. And I haven't seen him use that so far, which kind of surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it might be a stylistic thing. I know some players love spamming, shuttles with Zealots running around. Some players find it just much easier to use the Arbiters and whatnot. Going back to the game, Koget has gone for a 1-Rax expand here. I believe that's what he did last game, right? Or attempted to do while getting Zealot harassed. I can't remember exactly the order of buildings after all that action.
Yeah, if you think about it, Koget in the first game went for like a kind of proxy with barracks and then just pretty much won the game from that. Second game he went for this kind of style. I have to say that this kind of style is very good, on point with everything, because the main problem that you could face is something like the Dragoon Bust, and if you're not really ready with the SCV pool or something like that, it can completely kill you in a few seconds. But apart from that, this, I don't think it's weak to that much.
Well, speaking of Dragoons, we do have 2-gate goons coming out here from DragOn, so he's going to be putting on a lot of pressure. He needs to kill this SCV. He needs to not let this SCV see this. Okay, he does actually block the SCV. That's actually very important. I wasn't actually paying attention, but looking at the pattern on the minimap, Koget's SCV went top left, bottom right, and then Dragon's base, right? And DragOn hasn't scouted. Am I seeing this correctly, or am I just absolutely crazy? I was just not paying attention.
No, just well, if you're going to double gateway goons,
yeah, you don't need to scout.
Is not as important.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're doing that build regardless of what build he's doing, because that's that's your opening. It doesn't really change based on the Terran's opening. A second SCV, actually, this might be the first SCV. I'm not sure. That swung around. It's a second SCV, alright, but it's going to get blocked again. I don't know if he can tell from the fact that there's already 2 more goons. I don't think he can. Well, maybe he can tell. He can tell, right?
He can. He should know. The only problem is how he reacts, because he has 2 factories being built, which I think it's a very good idea, because the bunker is only going to buy you so much time. And even though this is something that you want to have siege tanks probably really fast, the main problem is you need to have something more than just 1 siege tank, because 1 siege tank can be run in and just sniped by the Dragoons if you have enough of them.
Yeah, basically, 4 Dragoons will 2-shot a tank. It takes exactly 8 Dragoon shots to kill a siege tank normally. At this point without any upgrades or anything, and, assuming they don't get repaired. But it looks like, oh man, he's just going in here to the bunker. I was actually wondering why he was waiting so long. His range was finished about 10-15 seconds ago, so he didn't actually need to wait this long, but he's going in. 1 Dragoon not actually shooting the bunker, but 5 SCVs coming on to repair. This SCV actually needs to come back, because as soon as this Dragoon starts shooting the bunker, they will actually do more damage than the SCVs are repairing. But it looks like 2 more SCVs coming off the line here, so just doing some harassment. I think DragOn is going to wait for the first tank to come out and run into snipe it exactly as you said. It's going to be very difficult. You have to be so careful with the positioning, because if you go too close to the bunker, the goons can run up, kill it, and run back before dying to the Marines, because the Marines don't actually do enough damage. But if you put it too far back, obviously, you won't be in range of the goons. You need to do it in range, just in range of the Dragoons, but as far back as possible. It's actually quite tricky to get that right. And look at this, double expand. 2 get into double expand. Oh my god. This is the build that I used until I was like C rank on ICCO. Because this build... Oh, you can sometimes get a free win if you can kill the bunker! He kills the bunker! A lot of SCVs blocking so he can't reach the tank, but this is really, really dangerous for Koget.
Oh, he's finished, but he's gonna lose a lot of SCVs for that, I think.
He can still run in. He wants to. He's trying to kill the SCV so he can run in. He only needs 4 Dragoons to be in range. Oh man, he gets 1 volley! He gets the tank, and I think that's game over.
Yeah.
Oh man, he can even get the second tank.
Yeah,
but the SCVs...
Oh! Oh my god. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That second tank dying was crucial.
Yeah.
I think that was the nail in the coffin here for Koget. He does have another tank. He's got to be careful. There are 4 Dragoons here, but I think he's going to kill them in time. Yeah. Okay. So I guess he's not going to immediately GG out, but that's significant damage to the SCVs. Killing those first 2 tanks also means there's no threat of a counter push anytime soon, which means this double expand is going to be perfectly safe. And that's going to put him so far ahead in the mid-game.
I think Koget should realize that, very good. He's adding, he's now researching speed and mines before he's adding any more units, because he probably realizes at this point that this kind of threat from the Dragoons is no longer a threat. So he's probably going to try to put some harassment. The only problem with this is that DragOn did have enough time to actually set up properly the ramp block with the pylons as well as some units on the ramp. So this is going to be a 2 base against a 3 base, which usually would be normal, like not really heavily in favor of the Protoss. But with that SCV count being dwindled by so many Dragoons, the main problem is that Koget doesn't have any way to punish anything that DragOn wants to do at this point. Yep.
That was, it's a bit unfortunate. That was so close there, the bunker barely dying, and then the first 2 tanks barely dying there. Like, if he just had 2 more SCVs there at the front repairing or blocking, this could be an entirely different story, because if that goon attack dies and doesn't kill any tanks, even if it busts the bunker, the risk of counterattack when you double expand like this is quite big, because you're delaying your obs. You know, you have to cover 3 bases off only 2 gateways worth of production. And obviously, if you lose a bunch of your initial Dragoons, you're spread very, very thin. So big vulture attacks can do a lot. Oh, nice little block here. Looks like double pylon block on both sides to actually stop this. Because DragOn knows, even though he got such an advantage, that's still a big risk for him.
Well, look at Koget. He's actually taking another base, and I think that's a pretty smart idea.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's very good.
The only problem...
Oh, he actually pylon tricked his way through the... Or line tricked his way through the pylons.
Wow.
What, he did it again? Is this guy a genius? He did it with 1 mine each.
Look, there are 2 pylons blocking, so there's no mining from that nexus.
That, let me tell you guys, Koget made that look easy. This is freaking hard. I guarantee, if you go into like a custom game right now, and you try this, you're just gonna fail it like 100 times. This is actually really hard to do. Like, this is something that, got Boxer a Pimp's play highlight doing that. Because...
Look at the vultures in the main!
Oh my god, Koget, he's gonna grab... No, he's not gonna grab a Dragoon. But look at this! He's forcing the Dragoons to kill their own pylon, and they're even shooting it from the low ground. Actually, yeah, there's a mischance. There's a mischance on the pylon. They can't even kill their own pylon. Look, they're missing their own pylon. They can't get it.
Oh, man.
Koget is a genius.
And at the same time, because of that base not mining, he's taking his own 3rd, and as long as there is no strong counter right now coming from DragOn, I think he's gonna be in a really good position. The only problem is the production, because look at the amount of gateways that DragOn has compared to the 2 factories.
Yeah. It's funny that DragOn still added 8 gateways, even though he wasn't mining at his 3rd for like a million years. Because he's gonna find himself not quite able to support that just yet. Like, he's not gonna be able to pump from all of these just yet. But he's getting his probes back over there now. But wow, I am so impressed by that move from Koget. That was really cool.
Yeah, and the best part about that is that you know that that's going to be hard to pull off, so you're actually committing a little bit of your time to that, but he knew he could actually do it, so...
Yeah, that's... That move actually might have got him back in the game. Interestingly, he's actually building a turret directly... Oh no, it's not directly under the obs. I was going to say, if this turret actually built directly under the obs, it might actually bug out and not shoot. There's actually a turret glitch where if you put an observer directly over a turret, it can't shoot. Oh no! Oh no, okay, no, it's not bugged.
But you only have to spam stop on it to actually get it to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't fix it, it's just like if you don't pay attention, you can actually cause that bug. I think it's actually not allowed in Pro League, right? I don't think you're allowed to do that.
That actually is allowed.
Oh really? Okay. I can never remember. I remember there was one game, like, it happened to Stork on accident. He didn't actually do it on purpose, but the Terran built a turret underneath it, and, like, the observers were talking about it. I don't know what they were saying, though.
Okay, so we got... Wait, there's... Well, look at that. Oh, man. Shuttle, Zealot, Speed, and a lot of Dragoons. I think Koget might...
He's gotta be careful. This barracks will actually bug out the goons a lot if he tries to break this. These barracks are actually, these floating buildings are actually really annoying. He is gonna go for it though. He's going actually from the side. This is an interesting idea. It means the goons aren't actually shooting the barracks yet, but they're also not shooting all, they're actually clumping a little bit more than they would if he went in a line.
Bombs.
The Zealot's doing maximum damage. The SCV is trying to block. Only one Dragoon is actually stuck on the barracks right here, and it looks like he might break through here. DragOn is busting up the ramp. Only one tank remaining. The SCV's coming off the line. The tank is going to siege mode, but there's one Zealot actually hitting it still from melee range, and the tank falls, and I think that's it for Koget. Oh man, he made such a nice comeback move there, or at least attempt, and it's just not going to be enough. GG! From Koget.
Really clean ending from DragOn.
Really nice there.
Those gateways that he added, he knew that he wasn't going to be able to use them really well for a few seconds, but after the probes came back, the production just exploded.
Yeah. So, wow, well played by DragOn. Coming back from losing game 1 to win 2 in a row, but it is a best of 5. It is not over yet. I really hope Koget wins actually the next game, so we see a game 5.
Yeah.
And
what's the next map?
It's going to be Overwatch, the foreign made map. Map. Yeah.
Whoa.
So that's going to be very interesting. I hope we see a long game on this, actually. I really want to see how this plays out. Overwatch 2.1.
Wait a second. How many versions did Overwatch actually have?
A lot, apparently. I'm surprised it's on 2.1, actually.
Because, it's like 2.1, and you're like, wait, what? When did this map come?
They didn't even have that many versions of the Pro League maps, did they? Like, usually they just had, like, the original version, and then, like, Neo whatever, if they needed to update it. Well, no, there were probably, I think, like, Outsider probably had, like, a 2.1 or 2.2 or something, but not many maps actually had that many updates. Anyway. Yes, this will be Game 4. If Koget wins this, we will have a deciding Game 5 on Fighting Spirit. So that should be fun as well. If we get to that point, I really hope we do, considering how fast the first series was. And looks like everybody is ready for the 4th game. So here we go.
All right.